I used to think anniversaries were about celebrating how far a couple had come, not revealing how far they drifted apart. 12 years. That's what Megan and I were supposed to be celebrating that night. Or at least that's what I thought when I reserved a table at Lavana, the same Italian restaurant where I'd once knelt with a ring in my hand and asked her to marry me. I wanted it to be meaningful. A quiet corner, soft candlelight, the same bottle of wine we'd shared back then. She looked breathtaking, effortlessly so. In a pale blue dress, hair loose, a delicate diamond pendant catching the light just above her collarbone. But something in her eyes was off, a distant glow like she was present but not really there. I tried to tell myself I was imagining it. Happy anniversary, I said, raising my glass. She smiled, a small tired curve of lips that didn't reach her eyes. 12 years, she murmured, clinking her glass against mine. Feels like forever, doesn't it? Her tone made it sound less like a toast and more like a question. I laughed softly, pretending I hadn't noticed. I talked about vacations we'd taken, the home we built, the small moments that used to make us laugh. She nodded at the right times, chuckled when she was supposed to. But her eyes kept flicking toward her phone, face down beside her plate. Halfway through dinner, she excused herself to the restroom. I watched her walk away, confident and graceful as ever. Everything around me felt normal. Couples chatting, candles flickering, soft music humming, until my phone buzzed. A message from my brother Ethan. You still at Lavana? I typed back, you might want to step outside. I think you've got company. My stomach sank. Ethan wasn't one for jokes. I stood, muttered something to the waiter, and slipped down the narrow hallway past the kitchen to the side exit. The cold night air hit me like a slap, and there she was, Megan, standing near a black car at the edge of the lot. The door was open and leaning against it was someone unmistakable. Tyler, my business partner, my best man, the same man who had toasted us 12 years ago, wishing us a lifetime of happiness. I froze. They hadn't seen me. She was smiling, really smiling, the kind of smile I hadn't seen from her in years. She touched his arm, whispered something that made him laugh, and brushed a strand of hair from his face. It was such a small, intimate gesture, once mine. My hands trembled. My world went silent except for the pounding in my chest. I stepped back, careful not to make a sound. I wasn't ready for a confrontation. I needed time to breathe. When I went back inside, everything looked the same. Wine, candlelight, soft hum of conversation. But nothing felt the same anymore. Megan returned, smiling as if nothing had happened. Sorry, she said softly, dabbing her lips with a napkin. I just stared. The rest of the evening blurred. Her small talk, my silence, clinking cutlery. I paid the bill, thanked the waiter, and walked her to the car. Our hands brushed like strangers pretending to be lovers. Something inside me cracked. The drive home was quiet. She leaned her head against the window, scrolling through her phone, blue light flickering across her face. You look tired, I said evenly. Long week, she murmured. That had become her answer to everything lately. Once she'd said, I missed you. Now it was always, I'm tired. I wondered if Tyler ever got that excuse, or if she was saving her energy for him. At home, she went straight upstairs. I stayed in the kitchen, staring at my reflection in the dark window. The house felt colder somehow. Walls that had once held laughter and warmth now echoed with silence and secrets. I wanted to confront her, demand answers, but I didn't. I just stood there, empty. When I finally went upstairs, she was already in bed, pretending to sleep. I lay beside her, inches away, and felt the vast distance between us. Not in miles, but in meaning. The next morning, I woke before her. I sat quietly, taking in the small details of our life together. Her jewelry box, the honeymoon photo, her perfume on the dresser. Everything looked the same yet felt meaningless. She stirred and smiled faintly. You're up early? Yeah, I said. Couldn't sleep. She stretched, half asleep. You okay? I looked at her. Really looked. The woman I'd loved for over a decade now felt like a stranger lying in my bed. I'm fine, I said softly. And maybe, for the first time in years, I actually was. I didn't go to work. Instead, I drove to the lake we used to visit on weekends. I sat there for hours watching the ripples move. Steady, peaceful, untangled. It reminded me of who I used to be. Before love became a burden, I had to keep alive alone. By the time I drove home, I knew what I had to do. Megan was at the dining table, coffee beside her, laptop open. "Hey," she said casually. "I was thinking we could go to your mom's this weekend." "Sure," I said. "But I'll go alone." Her face went pale. "Why?" I met her eyes calmly with certainty. "Because after that, I'm not coming back." Her mouth opened but no words came. For a moment I thought she might lie again. She didn't need to. Silence said everything. "Megan," I continued, "I spent years believing love could survive anything if you tried hard enough. I gave everything I had, but we both know it's been over for a long time." Tears welled in her eyes. "It's not what you think," she said weakly. I almost laughed. "Then what is it?" She had no answer. I picked up my keys, glanced around the house, the pictures, the couch, the kitchen where we danced barefoot at midnight. It all looked like the ghost of a life that had already ended. "So that's it," she whispered from the doorway. "It's not revenge," I said steady. "It's peace. You made your choice. I'm finally making mine." I walked out. The evening air was cool, calm, and somehow cleaner. As I started the car and pulled away, I didn't feel the weight of loss. Only the quiet relief of release. And as the lights of our house disappeared in the rearview mirror, I realized something simple yet profound. Strength isn't always about holding on. Sometimes it's about having the courage to finally let go.